KCK co-chair Cemil Bayık reiterated Abdullah Öcalan's call for peace, urging international solidarity and condemning continued Turkish military actions. The Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria and the Syrian Democratic Council have condemned the draft Syrian constitution, saying it undermines democratic principles. In Halfeti, the hometown of Abdullah Öcalan, thousands of people gathered to celebrate Newroz. The event featured strong calls for Öcalan's release and a new era of democratic rights in Turkey. Ukraine has accepted a US proposed 30-day ceasefire, with Washington restoring military aid while awaiting Moscow's response. Learn more with Medya News. Speaking on Sturk TV, Cemil Bayık, co-chair of the Kurdistan Communities Union, or KCK, assessed the latest political developments following Abdullah Öcalan's historic call for peace, the agreement between the Syrian government and the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, or AANES, and the continuation of Turkish military operations despite a ceasefire.
Wak hüncizanın reber apo Bengavki diroki peşxist. Reberapo yek 1970 müdahaleki diroki bu gelê Kurdistan peşxist.
Bayık recounted the evolution of the Kurdish resistance, explaining how Öcalan's initial intervention mobilized a population on the verge of extinction.
Yekşi iro müdahale ki daha mestir, daha kürtür peştixi. Vakti ki reber apu dest be tekuşine kir gelê Kürt peş bixi. Ava çevi. Bu jî lazım e riya siyasi demokratik bata pe.
The KCK co-chair went on to highlight what he called the transformative power of Öcalan's paradigms, pointing out that women and youth have emerged as crucial agents of democratic change within Kurdish society.
Dışarıda plasarat dest bekir kar peşxist. Xas ki tamamı tehir siyasi demokratik be riye demokratik siyasi perspektifi Kürt çareser bike. Her ki xas ki devirda gava peşbixi ek naxastın perspektifi Kürt daim şer hebe ki bikan ranta peşbixin müdahale ser müdahale peşxistin. 2003 2005
Bayık stressed that an authentic solution to the Kurdish question requires the Turkish government to adopt legal and political frameworks that protect Kurdish voices and transform the conflict from military confrontation to meaningful dialogue.
Havale xab gelê xa bawardi ki xa baş perwerde kiriye li ser vî esasî ve gavana tavîje. Bi gavek aviti dixwaze devleti Türkiye jî mecbur bike ki ew jî gava bavijin. Yani ki demokratik siyasete bixi.
These hostilities are blocking the path to a viable and lasting peace, Bayık continued, calling for an immediate halt to Turkish operations in Kurdish areas.
Kanı kaderi xavar giri deste xa. Eğer ki ew hamla reber apu peşxist hedefi xa armancı xa ew. Reber apu dixwaze ki pirsgirêkê Kurd di zeminê şer da derxi.
In response to the authoritarian and Islamist-leaning first draft constitution of the transitional government in Syria, the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, or AANES, made a statement on the 14th of March condemning the constitutional declaration signed by the Damascus government. The administration accused the interim government of distorting Syria's national identity and undermining efforts to build a genuine democracy. The Syrian Democratic Council, or SDC, also rejected the interim government's declaration, denouncing its authoritarian nature and failing to establish the foundations for a genuine democratic transition. In its statement, the SDC asserted that the draft reinforces centralized rule, grants unchecked executive powers, and stifles political freedoms by restricting party formation, effectively obstructing Syria's path to democracy. Reaffirming its stance, the SDC emphasizes that Syria is a nation for all its people and will not tolerate any efforts to re-establish tyranny under any circumstances. In Halfeti, the hometown of Abdullah Öcalan, thousands of people gathered to celebrate Newroz. The event featured strong calls for Öcalan's release and a new era of democratic rights in Turkey.
100 yılıdır. Evet, Sayın Öcalan'a katılıyoruz. 100 yıl sonra ilk defa tekrar Kürtlerin önüne, Orta Doğu halklarının önüne bir fırsat çıktı. Şimdi bu fırsatı demokrasiyle, eşit haklarla taşlandırmak için bizlere çok büyük bir görev ve sorumluluk düşüyor.
Bakirin emphasized that these measures are essential if Turkey is to move towards a more inclusive democracy that recognizes Kurdish rights and freedoms.
Var mısınız bu sorumluluğu layıkıyla yerine getirmeye? Var mısınız yaşamını yitirenlerin anısını, bayrağını onurlu bir şekilde taşımaya? Var mısınız Türkiye'yi demokratikleştirmeye? Bu tekçi, bu yok sayan sistem yerine adil, eşitlikçi, yoksulun açın olmadığı, herkesin kendi kimliğiyle yaşadığı bir Türkiye yaratmaya var mısınız?
Democratic Regions Party co-chair Jigdam Kılıçgun Ücar underlined how solutions in Turkey could resonate across the Middle East, possibly charting a path for peace and inclusion in neighboring countries like Syria.
Bu öneri herkese, bu çağrı herkese ve bugün kucaklamamız, büyütmemiz gereken bir çağrı. Halfeti bu ülkede, bu coğrafyada en modern, en yaşanılabilir, hakların bir arada olduğu modelin simgesi. Halfeti'den dalga dalga yayılan bu ortak yaşam iradesi bugün 27 Şubat Barış ve Demokratik Toplum çağrısında yeniden büyüdü, yeniden dalgalandı, yeniden hepimize ödevler sundu.
The 27th of February is the date that Abdullah Öcalan made his historic call for disarmament, which has come to be known as the Call for Peace and a Democratic Society. Ukraine has agreed a US proposed 30-day ceasefire following negotiations in Jeddah. This is a step towards de-escalation despite ongoing Russian hostilities. The ceasefire deal, confirmed in a joint US-Ukraine statement, follows a tense exchange between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky that briefly halted US military aid.
Україна готова до миру. Свою готовність припинити війну чи продовжувати війну повинні показати. Щойно була доповідь нашої делегації про зустріч з американською командою в Саудівській Аравії. Тобто ми погоджуємось, і якщо русські погодяться, в той самий момент тиша запрацює.
In return for Kiev's commitment, Washington has restored military assistance and intelligence sharing, reportedly securing access to Ukraine's mineral deposits and energy revenues. Trump hailed the agreement as a total ceasefire and urged Russia to reciprocate. At the same time, US Senator Marco Rubio made it clear that Moscow's response would indicate its stance on peace efforts. European leaders, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, have welcomed the deal, stressing the need for lasting diplomatic solutions. Vladimir Putin has said he agrees with the idea of a ceasefire in Ukraine, but that questions remain about the nature of a truce, as he set out a number of tough conditions for peace.
We agree with the proposals to cease hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that this cessation should be such that it would lead to long-term peace and eliminate the essential causes of this crisis.
Saying that he needs to negotiate with the US, Putin added, "It will be good for the Ukrainian side to achieve a 30-day ceasefire."